So today we have patch 7 notes and is it Fasnacht? I'm not really sure how to say that, but parade, seasonal event coming soon. One of the first of many different things that are going to be coming out. The roadmap spoke about, so it's going to be fun to dive right into this. Okay, so we have Inside the Vault, seasonal event, and patch 7 preview. Welcome back to Inside the Vault. As Wild Appalachia draws nearer, we're traveling to Helvetia, I'm even saying that right, to preview the first seasonal event in Fallout 76, which will be sure to shoo away those winter blues. And I think it's pronounced Fasnacht. I actually haven't looked up the pronunciation on that, but that parade is going to be coming up, and it says next. We're going to share a few highlights with you from patch 7, and we're planning to release them next week. So let's say we have a new seasonal event, the parade. Each year since the founding of Helvetia in 1869, the townsfolk celebrated Fasnacht by donning fantastic masks and parading through the decorated town. Festivities culminated by burning an effigy of Old Man Winter on the bonfire to settle the end of winter. The townsfolk may be long gone, but beautiful bots have kept their party rolling every year, and they welcome your participation. So right off the bat, I'm going to call off that. So they're saying every year this is, coming out. We have a yearly event, or maybe, something we can expect to cycle seasonally. Let's keep that in the back of our heads. Moving forward, they talk about the parade being repeatable, but a limited time event, and it's only going to be for 1 week. So you'll have from starting March 19th, and then a week from that. It says, you and any other dweller who wish to take part must speak with the Master of Ceremonies in Helvetia. Then divide and conquer to find and aid the town's robotic shopkeepers and the parade. And then it starts talking about, the different things you're going to have to do, prep duties. You might have to play a tune or decorate some stuff or, exterminate stuff in the town that's preventing the parade from going on or anything like that. So then it also talks about more marchers who survive the parade, the higher chances you'll earn the mask, some of which are exceedingly rare. And then they do have an image from that, and that'll be linked as well. They're only showing 4 different masks, but I could imagine maybe there's a few more. Well, it says, yeah, there are many more, and the mask can be traded, so put on your charisma to the test by haggling with any dwellers who have the mask that catches your eye. So we're looking at 4, and they're saying many more, so let's just say 12. We're looking at maybe 10, 12 masks. Who knows? Maybe more. So now we're also looking at the fact that it also says, remember, no party lasts forever, and neither does this seasonal event quest. Complete this parade as many times as you like, grab as many masks as you can, score new Fasnacht-themed camp plans before the celebration ends on March 26th. So you have from the 19th to the 26th to get a bunch of masks. After playing other games that have seasonal events, yearly events, or have the ability to reward you from completing timed events with tradable items, you're looking at creating a rare. You're looking at this item that right now people aren't going to think is worth anything, or they're going to be like, no, I'm definitely going to think it's worth a lot. And then guess what? The first month passes, and a few months pass, and then it's like less people play, or whatever happens to them. There's not as many in circulation. They start to disappear. You want to think about this game really long term. It's like, okay, let's think of a year from now. But this is what I'm saying. Let's think about this as a yearly event as well. If they're doing this in a year, it might come back. And that's also another thing I want to talk about with the current main menu. The current main menu is saying leaving soon. We're continuing to spruce up the Atomic Shop with another wave of item sales this week. Once each sale ends, that item will leave the Atomic Shop, so be sure to snatch them up before they're gone. So now, again, rares. Not that you can do anything with these, but again, you can kind of brag and boast by having certain costumes, right? Or certain emotes or frames. The frames to me are like not all that worth it, but it seems like the emotes they put out are free. You just need to, come and grab them. And they put out also some other things that are free, the Nixie tube clock, and then it's apparently a featured item as well, so... But now, this is where I start to have a little bit more faith in what's going on with this game. I'm starting to make, incentives for people to come back, whether it's like, hey, come back weekly, or hey, come back monthly, come back yearly, for different events. So it starts to add almost an idea of economy as well. If you start thinking of, like, again, these rare masks. It's going to be hard to say if their rarest one is going to have a super, super low like drop rate or something, but let's see. So then, on top of that, I guess there's essentially 9 total. Got Death Skull Mask, Devil Mask, Harlequin Mask, Merman Mask, Napoleon Mask, Owl Mask, Second Man Mask, Witch Mask. Because in the image itself, we have Old Man Winter. I guess that's like a sun. You have the Jester, and then I can't tell. It looks like the Show Me What You Got Rick and Morty dude skull thing. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be, like a skeleton or something. And they also, in this post, go on to talk about the Patch 7 highlights. Patch 7 highlights have me interested enough to consider making another character. Doesn't have to be today, I gotta figure this one out. Don't know. I might just scrap the newest one, even though I got him to level 13. Let's find out. There's Patch 7 highlights. They're gearing up to release the Patch 7 next week. And then it talks about, containing the first wave of Wild Appalachia stuff coming out. Brewing and Distilling, which I'm okay with. I'm a little excited too, because then it's all about, keeping the people on the game. Whether it's you have to force people to, and force is a bad word, but like, if you want to do more damage or if you want to get the most out of certain brews, it's going to take you some time. It's going to take you some investment. So like really justifying various recipes. There's plenty of recipes in the game right now that are highly justified, but people don't know about them. I feel like it's going to be maybe the same thing with brewing and distilling, depending on how many recipes they actually come out with. We'll see on that next week as well. Talk about energy and heavy weapon balancing. So they've made adjustments in terms of durability, damage. They want to make sure that you can. And they say spend less time repairing and more time looting. For energy weapons, they start talking about the heavy and semi-auto energy weapons. Greatly reduce the amount of condition damage they take per shot. Heavy energy weapons should now last 4 to 5 times longer, and semi-auto energy weapons should last twice as long before needing repairs. So, think of that. Right now, I have energy weapon on one of my characters that's explosive rounds. I've never really justified using energy weapons, really, especially that it seems like they also weren't going to, like, I don't know. To me, energy weapons never really been too justified, but then you have melee, which is just OP and easy to go to. I've messed with the Gatling Plasma myself. I think either Chevy or Zero has my explosive Gatling Plasma, so that's going to be fun to mess with too after this update. But I'm really interested in my, I think it's level 45 or 50 energy pistol or laser rifle or whatever it is. I know I can mess with it, and that, along with the Gatling and whatever else, is really going to make energy weapons viable for me. But I need to make a new character. I can't turn any of these characters. Can't rewind time unless I jump on Scruffy and start saving up points, and then I just allocate everything to that. But I've given up on this character. I've been rocking this character for a while now. But in any case, Going back to, we have heavy weapons. We've reduced the fire rate for high rate of fire automatic heavy weapons across the board and increased their damage by 10%. And it makes sense, and they also even mention it saying, you know, they want to give it a damage increase, but they didn't want to increase their baseline damage too high, and then, you know, people take advantage of it, so sounds good. Weapon damage for all other automatic heavy weapons has been increased 10% to 20%. That's also going to start making heavy weapons a little bit more viable too. Then they also mention, like energy weapons above, we've significantly reduced the condition damage that automatic ballistic heavy weapons take per shot, and they should now last about 4 times longer before they need a visit to the weapons workbench. That's crazy too, to think 4 times as long. Like, normally just like, okay, multiply it by 2 is good, but to the fact they're like, yeah, don't repair it, go out, make it more viable, dump ammo. They want people to start using miniguns more, Gatling, plasmas, things like that, so that's gonna be interesting. So what else do we have? So it says, we know that many of you have also been asking for weight changes for heavy weapons. While we haven't addressed this in patch 7, we do plan to make improvements with future update, and we will let you know as soon as we have more details to share. So again, they're gonna commonly give you little sprinkles and little teases of things to come to kind of, you know, pacify the people that are complaining. So it's good. You know, it's starting to show over time that they are listening to their community and starting to respond a little bit more and more. And this Wild Appalachia thing and all these Inside the Vault things, as long as they keep telling us more and more every week or during these events, or give us little teases, it's going to be good. It's going to let people know, like, hey, this is what's going on. We're fixing the game. We're, you know, repairing. You have to start at certain ends. You know, they have to work on different categories at a time, and then be like, all right, is this good? Huh? You know, they're like, here, huh? Are we good? Good. Or they nerf something, and everybody freaks the fuck out, and they're like, they wait a little bit. They're like, all right, if we can wait, you know, a month or so, and everybody's kind of calmed down, then I guess we can keep it. But if they're getting louder and louder by the day, then we have to bring back the nerf hammer. But then they also talk about camp and workshop budget adjustments. So this has me excited too, because I didn't really think about lights, but apparently turrets and lights, the budget consumption has been reduced significantly, so that's going to help out a ton. But they're also going to put caps on stuff. So then they also talk about, you know, build menu recipes for these objects will show you how many are already present in your camp, including the ones you have stored. And then they're going to make it a maximum amount, so that's good, because you can't just have, like, you know, 1 million turrets. You might say, okay, 10 or less, something like that, who knows. Right now, if you can have like 4 or more, I don't know how you're pulling that off. But in any case, they say there are several important aspects of the camp and workshop budgets we must keep in mind when making adjustments, including how objects are used by players, overall structure balance, and even game performance. That's another thing too that people don't think. Like, honestly, it's very easy for you know, game with a lot of numbers going back and forth, and it's like somebody makes a base that shoots a ton of turrets at once at a creature, and all of a sudden the server just shuts down because it, you know, it broke the server. They need to take this inch by inch, not, you know, like a mile, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, we broke the game and we don't know what broke it. They have to kind of like make little strides of progress, but it's good. I think they're getting better and better. So then they also talk about they want to increase, you know, the budget size, and it says they should give you more overall budget space to build lots of cool stuff, also allowing us the flexibility to further refine and improve balance and performance. So again, you know, like, they're gonna give us a little bit at a time. That doesn't mean they're gonna stop there. They can constantly keep giving us more. They just need to figure out how. And people have to understand this is going to be a developmental game, and they need to start thinking more long term, as opposed to just, this is shit right now. If it's shit right now, come back later. What's the difference? Spend less money on the game. Camp placement adjustments. Occasionally when we bring in new content to the game, it may need to be placed somewhere that was previously usable as a camp location. So basically they're just saying certain spots in the world aren't going to be, placed there anymore. They're going to show you certain no-build zones. And they're going to... It sounds almost like how Ark treated their no-build zones. It's like, we're going to warn you, so you can kind of have a warning, but who knows? You might sign in one day and be like, hey, your base is no longer, be placed. So we're going to give you this free placement. And like they say, we don't expect this will impact most players, but we hope this free move will help you find a new home for your home. So whatever. Worst comes to worst, it's good to be more nomadic. And they also talk about challenge tracking. With patch 7, we want to make challenges easier to keep an eye on as you make progress towards completing them, so you always know when the next reward will be on its way in your pocket. So, thinking a little bit of a couple of things they've already covered, you start tracking challenges. They want you to start tracking challenges so you're more inclined to gain items. They want to start putting more items on sale, so you're more inclined to buy them, and they're going to make them cycle out. We might not see these for like a few months. This is kind of an interesting tactic now. This has me thinking like Warframe, that they're vaulting their vault boys. They're hiding the vampires, the skiing outfits, all these different things in here. And then on top of that, they're putting events. So now again, if they are truly yearly, we'll have to see. Or if it's going to be something that, every 6 months a certain event pops up. So it's like, oh, if you missed it here, try this. And then to top it off, they're thinking of, again, with the challenge tracking and these events that are keeping people coming back. So it's just this formula that they're starting to work on where it's like, all right, so yes, we want to have you in the game for as long as possible. Yes, we want you repairing your items, and we don't want it baby mode. So you need to have some element of survival. You need to have, your hunger, your thirst, all that other stuff. Now, not only that, you have to have incentives. You need to get your parade masks. You need to get your jester mask. You need to get, your atomic shop items that, like, I almost bought one of these yesterday. I think it was these PJs. I was like, oh, it's 70% off. I should buy this. It's going to be gone, and it's 70% off. Right now, 180 is not that much for me, but, like, that's exactly what I mean. Next week, something might come out, and it might be worth 1,200 or something, and I might want it. And then, boom. I'm not going to go down the path of buying items. I'm going to keep tracking my challenges after they release that next week, so let's see, I'm excited. They also say, we'll see you again next week as we cover even more of the new game content we have in store for you in Wild Appalachia. Till then, we'll see you in the Wasteland. So, I'm excited. We're making, interesting strides of progress, whether it's, here's a little update to the game, or here's actual content, or here's, like, lore's gonna come over time. It's gonna be one of those things where it's like, the people that are most interested are gonna catch these events. They're a week long. It's not like it's only 3 days or something. Maybe it could have been, 2 weeks long. I don't know. Unless they're gonna keep cycling events like that pretty often. I don't know what exactly we're gonna have, if it's gonna be lore based. You can't just have a parade for every town, and I don't mean that like literally. Like, you can't just have rinse and repeat of, okay, instead of clearing the town of whatever might spawn, whether it's scorched or ghouls, you might have another event where it's like, okay, well, you're gonna have to clear another town of scorched and ghouls. Now, I'm hoping that it's gonna be more tied to, like, loading you to a different area. Who knows? We start exploring that, because if they just keep adding events like that every, like, month, where it's like, oh, go to a different town and get some rare items, then maybe. But then it's like the rare items start getting too saturated, and there's just way too many of them in circulation. Then it's like, what's really the point? Almost anybody can get it at that point, especially if they don't fix duping. So, I don't know. A lot to look forward to. Let's keep it on a positive note. Alright, so that's the update. So, I don't know, a lot to look forward to. Definitely gonna avoid any of these teases. I'm telling you, this is all candy. This is all bait. Jump into the game, buy this, buy it while you can. 30% off, 70% off, 50% off. Purchase atoms, purchase atoms. Nah. Be smart. Look out for the different emotes and picture poses. Get them for free while you can. You see something that you're generally interested in, get it. Like, I could get this right now. But then what? I'll be at 590. I don't know if next week something comes out that's worth 1,000 that I'm gonna have to grind challenges or something. So that'll be interesting. I am interested in making a new character because of the energy weapons. One of these characters has that energy explosive pistol thing. It's not that great, but it's just enough of an incentive to say, okay, let me get a new character from 0 to, let's say, 70 plus, work on an energy build, and then as I grind, I might get another energy weapon that I can use. So instead of maybe using the energy pistol or the energy gatling, maybe I'd find something else that has better legendaries. And it's all about that grind, and it's all about looking towards, you know, other stuff that they've mentioned. It's all about May 23rd, the legendary vendor. That's all I'm gonna say. I have to start counting down the days because once we can start re-rolling legendaries, it'll be big news. But on that note, that was the patch notes. I will be sure to give a link for that. And I don't know, I'm excited. Let's see what happens next week with the first of any content updates, starting with Brewing and Distilling, then the Parade, then Survival, and shortly after that we'll have player vending, the new quest, new faction of those explorers out there with the backpacks. It's all I'm interested so far is the backpacks and that whole utility in terms of the new faction, but let's see. More on that another time. '19, the year that 76 comes back. Patch 7, Fasnacht. I have to look this up. Look this up right now, and I'm getting the pronunciation of this because I will never know how to pronounce. Fasnacht? Fasnacht? Okay, so it's not Fasnacht.